They say, in order to maintain a conflict-free environment, we expect the wages and salaries of all employees, as well as their scheduled raises, to remain confidential. If it is shown an employee discussed or disclosed the details of their contract with another employee, I could face disciplinary action up to and including termination. Why would me telling someone else how much I make someone else mad unless the company has done something sketchy, shady, wrong, you know? That's not my problem. If you pay me something and I say, hey, I get paid this, and then that person realizes they're being underpaid, yeah, they're going to be mad about it. But whose fault is that? Is that the worker's fault, or is that the company's fault? I've seen a lot of job contracts because I've had quite a bit of jobs, and then I get a lot of job contracts from you guys, the viewers. This one that I have today actually makes me pretty mad, because this just straight up tries to take advantage of someone without them realizing it. And I know job contracts sound boring. This video sounds boring, but before you click away, I'd recommend you stick around so you can learn a thing or two about what your future company might try and do to you to make your life a giant pain in the butt later if you ever quit. So this is a job for a digital marketing specialist in Canada. The pay is $57,500 per year. You get 2 weeks of vacation as well as a benefits package. It's your regular 9 to 5. Now, look at all of the job duties. The job duties put you as basically the CEO of the company. You're running the entire company yourself, but you're just a digital marketing specialist for $57.5K per year. And don't focus too much on the money now. I know if you're in a lower paid job than that, you'd be like, of course I'd do it for that amount of money. Try not to get too caught up in the pay, because realistically speaking, the pay should be a lot higher for what they're asking for. So they want you to be a copywriter. That's someone's dedicated job. They want you to be a social media manager. That's someone's dedicated job. Email marketing, I could see that in the marketing job. Strategy and analytics, this is an SEO job. And then finally, we have account management. So each one of these are individual jobs. We come down to additional responsibilities. So you have to assist with sales, marketing, strategy, account management, but you also have to do discovery sessions, conceptualization sessions, brainstorming sessions, facilitate and do sales presentations. So you're now a salesperson as well as a digital marketing specialist down here. And we have to do customer interviews and surveys via phone or video conference. Digital marketing specialist. Are you a UX engineer? What are you doing? Trade shows and virtual trade shows. What are you, an HR now? Because those are the people who usually get sent for that. Recruiting, sales, whatever. This is what companies love to do. Here's one job, but secretly it's 10 jobs combined for the low price of hopefully barely one of these jobs. This bottom one here. Ensure a whatever it takes attitude in ensuring customer satisfaction and meeting of deadlines. This probably means unpaid overtime, but this is in Canada, so I don't really know if that's a thing there. I did do some other research, which I'll go into as we get further into this contract, but ensure a whatever it takes attitude. So then we come down to the second page here, which is the page about the probationary period that you have when you start this company. That can be pretty normal. I've experienced that a few times. You work there 30 days as a contractor, then they bring you on full-time if you do everything as expected. But here at this company, they have a 3-month probationary period. During the first 30 days, you can quit and they can fire you without any notice. After that 30-day period, you need to give a 1-week notice. And then after the 3-month period, they want you to give a minimum notice of 2 weeks. But the company, they can terminate you by the Manitoba employment standards. And so I actually have that pulled up. You know Josh, you know me, I'm going to go look at the details here. So for the company, if you've been working there for less than 1 year, all they have to do is give you 1 week notice. As an employee, if we come down here, you can see termination by employee. If you've been at this company for less than 1 year, then all you have to do is give a 1 week notice before you quit. But they want you to give a 2-week notice. It's funny that they want you to give 2 weeks, but when it comes to what they'll do for you, whatever's minimum required by the law is what we'll do, So there's discrepancy number 1. Let's go to one of the major red flags here. By the way, I should say this is illegal in the United States. It should be in Canada. It is in some provinces. It was hard to find on Manitoba. So if you're out there watching and you work in Manitoba, please tell me if this is illegal or not. They say, in order to maintain a conflict-free environment, we expect the wages and salaries of all employees, as well as their scheduled raises, to remain confidential. If it is shown an employee discuss the details of their contract with another employee of employer, it will render all scheduled raises null and void. Why would it create conflict? Why would me telling someone else how much I make someone else mad unless the company has done something sketchy, shady, wrong, you know? That's not my problem. If you pay me something and I say, hey, I get paid this, and then that person realizes they're being underpaid, yeah, they're going to be mad about it. But whose fault is that? Is that the worker's fault, or is that the company's fault? Maybe you shouldn't be trying to rip people off or do sketchy stuff behind the scenes and say, you can't see the numbers, okay? You just make us money, okay? And we pay you a little bit back, but you don't talk about it. It's just any company who ever says don't talk about what you get paid and you're not like a board level member or an executive or the accountant or something like that, just leave. Like for a digital marketing specialist, you can't talk about what you get paid? Bye. See you later, garbage company. And then further in the contract, they also threaten to fire you if you're found discussing wages. Now, this is the part where I should stop and say that this is a company of less than 10 people. What are you hiding? This is a company of less than 10 people, and none of us can talk about what we make here. That is just a giant red flag to me. Now, again, as I said, in the United States, this is just flat out illegal. They cannot prevent you from doing this, and if they fire you for it, you'll have a payday of your lifetime. Like, it's the easiest retirement you'll ever have. However, companies still love to post signs everywhere. You can see on r/anti-work, there was this one manager that posted a sign on the wall that said, if you're found discussing wages, you will be written up, which is illegal. And again, they reiterate this. If it is shown an employee discussed or disclosed the details of their contract with another employee, I could face disciplinary action up to and including termination. If you ever read this in any contract, do not sign at that company. What are they hiding? There's no benefit to the employer other than they get to abuse their workforce if they're trying to push this stuff on you. Now, let's go to the non-compete section of this contract. Look, I know it might be a little boring because it's just, a text on a page here in a PDF and I'm scrolling through, but stick with me because they will put this stuff in your job contracts. If you're in college right now and you're looking to get a job, you're going to see something very, very similar. So, during the term of my employment with the company and for a period of 12 months after the termination of my employment, for any reason, I will not either directly or indirectly carry on, engage in, be concerned with, interested in, advise, lend money to, guarantee the debts or obligations, or permit all or any part of my name to be used or employed by or associated with any other person, firm, association, corporation, or any other business enterprise carrying on rival or competitive enterprise in Manitoba. It's just so vague. So for the purposes of this non-compete contract here, they talk about prospective clients. So prospective clients, according to this company, defined here means all persons, firms, corporations, and other business enterprises that have been approached by or on behalf of the company, regardless of whether the company has recorded their name as prospects or not. Do you see how sketchy that sounds? Do you see how fishy that sounds? They at any time could be like, actually, that was a prospective client of ours and you're not allowed to work there for 12 months. Well, you don't have that down on paper anywhere. We don't have to have that down on paper anywhere. It's a prospective client. We reached out, okay? Now it's your word versus theirs, and they have it in the contract here. Do you see how scummy that is? Anyone can be a prospective client, and now suddenly you're not allowed to work for them for 12 months. And to just really drive this home, the person who received this job offer actually responded to them and said, let me have my legal team take a look at this. When they did that, this company responded back and said, actually, we're revoking the job offer. So, there's that in itself. Let me show you the email. Thank you for taking the time to review the job offer. We have never had anyone bring up issues with the non-compete, but as you suggest, that may be a sign of the times. I do want to point out that this is not a senior position and would report to myself and our marketing manager. There are many points in your email that indicate to me that the position we are offering you does not match your expectations of the role as you have described in your email. This, along with your compensation concerns, tell me we are not close to being on the same page. I believe it's best at this time is for us not to move forward with the job offer. So let's come back down here to this ridiculous non-compete agreement. Get this. I therefore waive all defenses to strict enforcement of these covenants and hereby acknowledge and agree that if I breach or threaten to breach any of these restrictive covenants, the company will have legal recourse. What does that mean? If you threaten to breach any of these covenants, then they can sue you. You see what I'm saying now? Like, it's just too vague to be allowed to sign. Like, I would never sign something like this. I would put it on the internet and show their name and show the people who run the company and say, look at what they want you to sign. What are they hiding? I wouldn't work here. That's what I would do, but I can't do that because I promised the person who sent that to me I wouldn't do it. But you can see how enraging this is. If I threaten to breach any of these covenants, if I threaten, like, sure, I understand certain amounts of non-compete, right? You can't take trade secrets from one company to another because they paid you a bunch of money to do so. You can't poach people from one company to another, but that doesn't stop companies from doing that. Like, I understand why these things exist, but I also recognize when these things are being pushed to the absolute extreme limit of the word vague, which lets them bend and kind of use these rules however they see fit. It could be as simple as you telling another employee what you get paid. Boom, they're throwing the book at you. Like, does this company even want workers? How does this company have workers as is? I mean, it makes sense why it's less than 10 people here, because I guess it takes a very desperate person to sign this, or someone who, which is most likely the answer, someone who just doesn't know, who isn't looking for these things, who didn't go through the contract. They stopped at the first line up here, and they saw the salary, and they went, oh, finally, I'm out of college. This is, wow, that's a lot of money. I'm definitely going to sign and send and accept. And then they get there, and they start working there, and they're like, what have I done? This company is a hellhole, and now I can't leave. By the way, the non-compete starts when you start there. You work there for 1 day, and you're not allowed to work at any of their competitors for the next 12 months. But it's not just their competitors. It's a bunch of other vague stuff that we've looked at in here. You know? I can't be concerned with or interested in or permit all or any part of my name to be used or employed by or associated with any other person, firm, association, or business carrying on rival or competitive enterprise in Manitoba. Your name? You can't have any part of your name used by any competitive business in Manitoba. Like, so even if you don't work at another business in Manitoba, you just volunteer at another business and they use your name in something, hey, that's, you broke the non-compete. You know what I'm saying? You can't be associated with any of the employers. You can't even be, you see, like the more you read this, the more you realize someone worked at this company and screwed them over really hard, or they screwed someone over really hard and that employee went to the labor board and made them pay a bunch of money. And so now they just have, they just have a contract that's so vague, it prevents them from ever, like, losing a lawsuit, is what this looks like to me. Now, again, I'm not an employment lawyer here. Maybe I'm reading some of this wrong. Maybe I'm interpreting some of it wrong. But when I, myself, and HR lady sat down to read this, she was like, yeah, that makes sense. Hold on. Wait, but that part right there, that's a little too vague, you know, like the threaten part, right? If I breach or threaten to breach any of these restrictive covenants, the company can sue me. Boys, I told you this video was going to be, like, I knew it'd probably be a little boring for you guys, and hopefully you didn't click off yet. And if you did, well, then I guess you don't see this part of the video. But hey, if you're still here, do me a favor. Go ahead and click that like button. Click the subscribe button if you learned a thing or two. And if you have contracts like this you want me to call out, go ahead and send them to me. Any job offer you get, make sure multiple eyes get laid on that contract before you sign on the dotted line, or you might end up in a place where you can never quit that job, at least without having to start your life over like my father. So, yeah. That's this video, guys. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, go ahead, like I said, leave a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see me call out this corporate nonsense some more. And I hope you guys are doing all right. We'll be live on Thursday. I'll be doing some resume reviews on Thursday. I haven't done that in a long time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the video, and hopefully on Thursday if you make it to that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.